morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ZF's CES press conference. Thank you very much for joining us here at the ZF press conference and starting the day with us. As we embark on a new decade, we are undoubtedly entering a new chapter in the automotive industry. And at ZF, we are sure that the next 10 years will be regarded as the pivotal time of our history when it comes to both automated driving and electrification. A decade where our combined efforts will be dedicated to solving the various challenges in these areas. Today I'm here to talk to you about automated driving. And we believe that despite the technical hurdles and challenging framework conditions, it will be worth putting every possible bit of effort behind this cause. Because automating next generation mobility will deliver immense safety, environmental, and convenience benefits to our society. At ZF, we talk about this in terms of mobility-life balance. Put simply, bringing people's mobile lives back into balance. We have already made solid progress on this journey. Today, I'd like to share with you ZF's position, including how and where we are making automated vehicle solutions a reality, and therefore contributing to a mobility that is safe and sustainable, clean and efficient, available and affordable. ZF is continuing to investing heavily into the future fields of automatic driving and electric mobility. And why? Well, the drivers are clear. We urgently need solutions to address the problems caused by increasing traffic in highly populated areas, congestion and air pollution. We need to increase road safety and thereby reduce fatalities. Today, globally, still 1.35 million people die in road accidents every year. And along with the growth of the world's population, this figure has even climbed by 100,000 victims over just 3 years. In developed countries, such as here in the US, NHTSA has announced a downward trend in traffic fatalities, partially attributed to technology in newer vehicles, such as driver assisting functions. In developing countries, no positive trend is evident, but the widespread adoption of technologies just as ESC, ABS, and airbags, and for example, they are now mandated in Brazil and India, are set to reduce fatality rates. At ZF, we offer a full suite of modular technologies which can address safety requirements worldwide. And last not least, the logistics industry is facing an immense challenges. By 2022, forecasts suggest that we'll be short of 100,000 truck drivers in the US. Today, with the broadest portfolio in the industry and active across 3 segments, passenger cars, trucks, and industrial applications, ZF is well positioned to address these challenges. We have a proven experience with key technologies needed for automated driving. When it comes to sensors, our company has been a pioneer in the development of sensing solutions for around the last 50 years, starting with our first hardware-only cameras in 1972, and then demonstrating driver assist functionality in the early 90s using camera and radar as part of the renowned Prometheus project. Today, we continue to innovate in this space and have a full suite of technologies, including a full-range imaging radar, a LiDAR, and advanced camera systems. With camera systems alone, we are today the #1 supplier in the world market. In terms of central processing, our Pro AI automotive supercomputer family offers a scalable, open, flexible, and modular hardware solution for both Level 2+ applications and the high-end requirements for Level 4 and 5 autonomous driving. We offer all the necessary intelligent actuators, which we are continuing to enhance to become more efficient and meet AD and mobility requirements of the future. When it comes to offering full system solutions for automated driving based on this portfolio, we are pursuing a clear strategy. In terms of passenger cars, we are convinced that integrated Level 2+ systems are the right path to follow. First of all, because there is currently no uniform legal framework for public road operations on Level 3 and higher in any major market. Secondly, due to the associated high cost for higher level automated driving systems, we see no viable business case for individual car ownership. And thirdly, Level 2+ systems allow drivers to get used to semi-automated functions in a safe manner, the driver always being in the loop. The costs are also a fundamental reason why at ZF we believe that systems for Level 4 fully automated driving and upwards right now only make sense for commercial vehicles and people movers. Here, the higher acquisition cost for the necessary technology will be paid off in realistic business cases. And introducing high-level AD functions, for example, on a company premises and dedicated lanes, can and has always been realized due to lower complexity in those areas. And let me show you how our strategy is resonating well with the industry today. Our customers have selected ZF as a partner of choice with many automated and automated driving platforms. Firstly, I'm proud to announce that ZF has been awarded with a delivery contract for Level 2+ semi-automated driving systems for a serial production passenger car with production starting already this year. In the ZF Co-Assist system configuration, our customer will be utilizing our full hardware and software system expertise, which will enable, for example, traffic jam support and highway driving support functions. The system is also benchmarked when it comes to lane centering functions, for example, automatic driving and delivering best-in-class results in terms of deviation from the center of the lane, so also called the oscillation of the vehicle. This is a unique selling point for ZF and of crucial importance for our customers. Furthermore, this Level 2+ entry system is the most cost-optimized of its kind on the market right now, and you know how important this is to offer this to end consumers at affordable price levels. The ZF Co-Assist meets projected NCAP 2024 tests, protocols, and delivers popular L2+ functions. As such, we are able to bring advanced safety and convenience functions to drivers in an affordable way. Going forward, Level 2+ is where we see the market heading. We currently have requests from multiple customers for our more advanced Level 2+ functions for 2023-2024 markets and years. This will offer higher levels of automation, relieving driver stress, such as automated lane change, automated highway exit, and more. Secondly, I'm also excited to announce today that a major global customer has awarded us a development contract for a commercial vehicle application for our most advanced Pro AI supercomputer. With a total computing performance of up to 600 teraops, the Pro AI RoboThink is the most powerful automotive-grade AI-capable supercomputer on the market. And those of you who have joined us last year, you might remember we released on CES press conference last year Pro AI RoboThink right here in Las Vegas, and now we can confirm the first concrete project with a customer. It represents a major step forward for the industry when it comes to meeting the needs for higher levels of automated driving. Within this development contract, we'll be adjusting the ZF Pro AI RoboThink to the specific needs of our customers and thus provide a tailored central computer enabling L4 solutions on trucks to drive fully automated. Subject to the outcome of this development, the technology could be starting production in the 2024-25 timeframe. We see much potential and interest with our Pro AI and are also in close discussion with several other customers for this technology right now. And thirdly, I'm pleased to share with you today that to get there, a company of the ZF Group will deploy autonomous shuttles in restricted areas in the coming months, for instance, at the Rivium Park in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. So ZF is fully committed to advancing these types of mobility as a service solutions. And we have recently joined the Mobility as a Service Alliance so that we can help to shape standards for legislation and technologies in this space. So ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the next decade, our developments in software will be one of the key differentiating factors when it comes to realizing higher levels of automated driving functions. That's why we are furthering our cooperation with Microsoft to boost our software development capabilities. In future, we will be applying DevOps methodology to our projects using an integrated cloud-based platform for different stages of our embedded software development processes. In short, this will enable us to reduce the software integration and delivery times significantly. This is an important aspect for our customers who are increasingly interested in agile collaboration and need short delivery cadences for software production updates. Furthermore, by working in a cloud-based development environment, which utilizes cross-functional teams, we can considerably improve the quality of software delivery as data can be processed in real time and bugs can be quickly identified and fixed. Our first pilot project where we deploy DevOps is Cubics, an example of one of ZF's software products that is currently in operation in some of our test vehicles. Cubics is a software platform for chassis control coordination that bundles and coordinates a whole range of information provided by the vehicle's sensors, such as radar, camera, and LiDAR. At the same time, Cubics also gathers information from smart chassis components, such as the suspension, steering, and braking. The data fusion and respective utilization turns each vehicle equipped with Cubics into a rolling sensor, enabling a precise picture of the road conditions and the driving situation in real time. This allows the vehicle to continuously adapt its chassis settings for a safer and more comfortable ride. With Cubics, the domain controller becomes the software-defined master processing unit and can, if needed, also balance and prioritize information. By connecting multiple vehicle systems, such as electric power steering, active rear axle steering, or active damping systems as motion, driveline control, and the integrated brake control, Cubics can tune the behavior of the car from one source and thus provide a whole new level of vehicle control. As an example, if the car hits an icy patch on the road, Cubics will detect the slippery conditions via the sensor signals and will calculate the respective constraints. Cubics then analyzes the data, can quickly distribute commands to each function, and, for example, instructs the steering system to alter the trajectory of the vehicle. Essentially, it allows an even earlier prediction of the environmental conditions and such can help to further improve safety and is also a prerequisite for future automatic driving vehicles. Of course, Cubics can run on our ZF Pro AI supercomputer, but as well on any other central computing modules that the car manufacturer installs. The beauty of now applying DevOps to Cubics is that this can facilitate integration of complex service-oriented systems and enable a fast customer feedback on the development progress. And it perfectly complements our existing ZF IoT platform, where all the data comes together and can be readily accessed. In this way, ZF is able to create applications that otherwise would not be possible based on a single data source. So, in one sentence, the future of chassis is code. Why are we highlighting the potential and added value of integrated software solutions like our Cubics today? Because we believe that they perfectly represent our capabilities as a true full systems supplier. The key is the ability and experience to provide and interlink all key components that are necessary for the different levels of semi-automated and autonomous driving, and thus create a new level of safety and comfort. So, ladies and gentlemen, with our strategy to develop both Level 2+ semi-automated systems and Level 4 fully automated and higher systems in their respective application fields, ZF is on the right track to automating next-generation mobility and is demonstrating tangible progress in all key areas. We are looking forward to presenting our system solutions here at the CES during the next days, so please visit us at our booth in North Hall. My colleagues and I are looking forward to our discussion now, and thank you very much, and have a great time here at the CES.
Thank you very much, Wolf Henning. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for the ZF press conference today. Just in case you have any questions on your mind right now, we're ready to answer them. We have a good 10-15 minutes to do a Q&A. So if there are any questions in the room, we have 2 microphones here. Please use the mics to ask your questions. Please say quickly, your name and media outlet, and then we'll go right to it. Tom, please.
Tom Murphy at Ord's Auto. So the Level 2+ vehicle, can you speak to, can you give some details in terms of where this vehicle will be arriving as it comes out next year? Are we talking Europe only? Are we talking global, North America? And then also, you talked about affordability, and can you say what does affordable mean when you talk about cars at that level?
It will be an Asian car manufacturer, and the launch is Asia first. And then let's see, we don't know. But right now the application is made for Asia. Affordability for us means below $1,000 for the consumer in the price add-on.
Thank you. I had a question back there.
Hello, yes, Mission CES France. I have a question. During your presentation for automatic driving, you have never mentioned any map technology, geographic map technology. Will you develop your own, or will you partner with some map technologies?
It depends on the application case. In the L2 Plus systems, we certainly take the opportunities from the market, since also in a global rollout, you need various map suppliers, because maps are not freely available globally, so you have to adapt the various maps. But when it comes to level 4, 5 systems, and our people movers and commercial vehicle applications, specifically, as I mentioned, when we start first in specific designed areas, like own premises of huge logistics centers, or these people movers that run always in the same lines. There we are using AI-based own created map data to have highly precise, millimeter precise or centimeter precise data that is necessary for those applications.
Thank you. Do we have another question? Yes, right here.
Hi, Alan Adler at FreightWaves. You mentioned 100,000 full-size trucks shortage by 2022. We know the American Trucking Association has used numbers. Is that what you're basing that on? And then a follow-up, please.
Pardon?
Is that based on ATA numbers?
Exactly. It's a public figure that you know, that we don't have any specific insights there. It's 100,000 in the US, but you can also say it's another 100,000 in Europe. So it's really a global issue that we are facing where we need solutions.
Yeah, and just a follow-up then. So the level 4, you mentioned level 5, but the level 4 applications, do you see that coming with safety drivers or fully, driver out in what you're working on?
Well, it depends. First, we have to start with systems that only run on premises, which would already reduce the number of hours that drivers are needed significantly. So if the driver can leave the truck at the beginning of a huge logistics center, shipyard, harbor area, whatever, airport area, then we can reduce hours. And there, obviously, yes, we can do it even without safety driver. Right now, in the development process with safety driver, but on premises, we see that without safety driver, and we have already vehicles running in that mode on roads at the moment with safety driver, basically also because of still many questions open in the legal framework and how to interact with the authorities and so on. Very simple question: how does a police car stop a fully autonomous truck? But we are working on it. There are solutions.
There's a question in the back.
Thank you. Asif Anwar from Strategy Analytics. What role do you see for edge-based computing with respect to the sensors and other systems, and how does that kind of work with the kind of centralized compute capability?
Say again, edge-based.
Edge-based.
Yeah. It is a mix. There's certainly the trend towards centralized computing power, but going through our system, co-assist up to the most advanced A4 systems, it is a move. Right now, it is still more on the sensor-based for the most affordable systems, but all systems will have a centrally processing unit starting from L2 upwards. And for the highest systems, it is basically central computing. Even for the camera processing, it's all in the central computing unit.
Okay, and just as a follow-up to that then, is there going to be a need to have some kind of computing at the edge, maybe a radar sensor or a chassis or a system, braking system, so that it can maybe filter out some of the noise before it passes on?
Absolutely. You still have some real-time necessities that we will have in some of the sensors, not in the camera, but in the radar, also in the LiDAR system, and also in the actuator. So I don't see a brake system that doesn't have any computing power anymore directly at the brake actuator. That will continue, but intelligence will move into the central domain controller.
Okay, and just one final question. How does that then impact the vehicle architecture moving forwards? Do we see this move towards an Ethernet as being the enabler, or HDBaseT? What's your opinion on that?
Well, Ethernet is already reality, yeah, so that's already today's system. I see a certain trend that via domain controllers, a smaller number of domain controllers who will move into supercomputers that combine more and more software function even into one unit. So I can imagine that just in a few years from now, we have vehicles that run with 3 very powerful units, but then even going to 1, maybe with the backup functions, the secondary unit, just for safety reasons.
Thank you. Then we had a question from Yumi.
Yes. My name is Yumi Kabata. I'm independent journalist writing for Japanese and Asian magazine as well. So as you mentioned, you will be support mobility as a service, but you never mentioned about building the ecosystem around the mass. So how do you think about building the ecosystem around the mobility service?
I need some space for announcements next year.
I cannot wait.
Yes, obviously, if you think about that, and we know that, for example, with our robo-shuttles, people movers, we are working on the full system capabilities, and ZF has already today the capabilities for centrally controlling those shuttles and also connecting those shuttles to the back end. On the other hand, a city needs a complex system that connects all mobility solutions. And so this is why we stay modest. Yeah? We don't want to be the one company that would be unrealistic, yeah? that can provide everything. Robo-shuttles must interact with subways, with all kinds of transport. Yeah? And we are working on this. And this is why also we joined this Mobility as a Service Alliance to create the standards that at the end of the day, an urban area has a seamless mobility software solution where users only at the end of the way have one app, and you get your mobility means via that. Yeah. But that's our vision, and we do what's necessary that we provide full systems from our perspective.
Please tell me in advance if it will be open.
Okay.
Okay, there was one more question to the left from Yumi.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Koji Suginuma with Eizo Shimbun. I have a question regarding to software development. You mentioned ZF will introduce DevOps method. It is completely different from conventional methods. How do you convince your customers to change the way to develop?
Well, as I mentioned, customers have also different requirements now for these more complex software packages and architectures. So in terms of development speed and quality, yeah? Without DevOps methodology and other most advanced, most modern software design capabilities, we would be absolutely not capable anymore in creating such vast software packages in the required time and at the required quality. Yeah. So this is such a high motivator that customers join or even ask for this kind of new way of working.
Okay, then we had one more question here.
Hello, good morning. You mentioned about the Mobility Alliance and for your Lane 3 applications. Do you see any need for partnerships with some intelligent transportation systems, especially in Asia, for your commercial applications, your Lane 2 applications?
Well, generally in this realm of new complex systems, we have always highlighted and underpinned that ZF is seeking strategic partnerships. Yeah. So it's not at all, from our perspective, necessary and realistic that we need to do everything on our own and not at all as a black box. Yeah? So yes, it's always creating intelligent partnerships, yeah? And on both ends, either technology like with Microsoft or others, and on the other hand, also for the market space in creating the right overall system that brings full mobility solutions to the individual markets. And with the complexity of the various regions and different standards, it's anyhow necessary and important. Yes, we are very, very open for that.
So thank you. I see no further questions. Oh, there's one right here.
Hello, Seth Clevenger at Transport Topics. Back to commercial vehicles to close it out. In what global markets do you see level 4 entering the market first in commercial vehicle? And can you tell us any more detail about the commercial vehicle customer you mentioned in the presentation?
Well, the best conditions that we have today are in the US and in China. So Europe is kind of a little bit behind on that one. In other areas of automated driving, they're advanced, but in this area, putting trucks on the road, it's still more difficult. Maybe also an advantage is that we find in the US and also in China some less crowded areas, that we don't have in other areas of the world. So it's favorable conditions here. So this is probably why we'll see it first in those markets. As you know, your second question, talking about customers is not on us. It's up to the customer to come up one day and say that is my project. So can't talk about it.
All right, and then we're coming to the last question now, because after this we have to come to a close.
Great, thank you very much. Chris Jones from Canalys. You talked about there being 1.35 million road fatalities per year globally. So it seems that we're a long way from Vision Zero. So how can ZF and your peers at other companies help to influence governments and the industry to try and mandate some of the ADAS features that will probably bring that down faster if we can get the ADAS technology in more new cars as quickly as possible? What's your role in trying to influence the industry and governments there? Thank you.
Well, first of all, we have now the proof that those technologies help to reduce significantly the fatalities, because there's enough markets where the introduction of those technologies can be statistically directly combined with a reduction of fatalities. And that is the advanced markets like in Europe or here in the United States. So it has become a lot easier over the last years to convince governments in emerging markets to introduce those technologies. And as I mentioned, ESC and those systems are now in Brazil and India. India, by the way, the market with the biggest number of fatalities today due to the population and the crowded roads. So governments are very aware. ZF is extremely active there. We are introducing those technologies. We are explaining. We are giving the data. So we help the authorities to understand that this is really the way to go to Vision Zero. And we have the impression we have excellent discussions about that, and more heard. You can read it also in your media every day that emerging country governments talk about this actively now. So I'm pretty or carefully optimistic, because it will still, from this huge number, still take many years. But I'm carefully optimistic that we turn around the trend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wolf Henning, for answering the questions. Thank you very much for your great questions. We have a bunch of ZF experts in the room. So if you have any further requirements, want to do a deep dive into technology, please address me and my communications team, and we'll route you to the right people. We'll do a couple of interviews here now on stage. Thanks for joining again. Wishing you all a great day at the CES, and please visit us in the North Hall. Thanks.